The demand for more food, especially protein-rich ones, for the growing population has led to the search for better technology to increase production of fish and crustaceans. Interest in the culture of prawn has grown to such extent that farmers have seen the need for supplementary or complete diets that are economical and viable. Successful rearing of prawns is dependent on many factors, and one of them is good food and feeding management. One way of providing good food for prawns is to supplement the natural food with compounded feeds. Since feed represents about 50% of the total production cost, a well-balanced and economical artificial feed is necessary. The SeaTech Aquaculture Department has been trying to develop feeds for prawn and has made some recommendations for the preparation of such feeds. There are a few suggested formulations which may be tried for prawns in ponds. These formulations are being improved as more information on the nutritional requirements are obtained. In preparing artificial feeds, some common ingredients used are fish meal, defatted soybean meal, shrimp head meal, fine rice bran, bread flour, sago palm starch, fish liver oil, and vitamins and minerals. The equipment and materials needed for making the feed are cornmeal or coffee grinder, sieves, weighing scale or balance, mixer of 5 to 10 kilogram capacity, saucepan and ladle for gelatinizing starch, meat grinder, steamer or big cauldron with pellet trays for steaming, dryer, and storage containers. All ingredients should be finely ground and sieved. Ingredients should pass through a number 40 mesh sieve of 420 micron opening. Dissimilar particle sizes result in water unstable pellets. Weigh the ingredients. Mix the dry ingredients thoroughly in a mixer for 10 minutes. A cement mixer can also be used for this purpose. For smaller quantities, mix the feed manually in a basin or pail. Add the oil to the dry ingredients and mix the batch for another 5 minutes. Gelatinize the binder, such as sago palm starch, bread flour, or other suitable starch. To do this, mix 1 part of starch in 14 parts of tap water, or 50 grams in 700 milliliters of water for every kilogram of feed you intend to make. Dissolve the starch first in about half the amount of water. The remaining half should be put to a boil separately. Then add the dissolved starch to the boiling water and cook in low fire. Allow to cool before adding the gelatinized starch to the mixed dry ingredients you prepared earlier to get a stiff dough. Pass the dough through a meat grinder with a 1, 2, or 3 millimeter die, depending on the size of the prawn to be fed. A 1 millimeter diameter die can be used for prawn juveniles weighing around 0.35 grams, a 2 millimeter die for 2 gram prawns, and a 3 millimeter die for prawns weighing 10 grams or more. Cut extrusions from the meat grinder into small sizes of about 1/2 centimeter and steam for 5 minutes. Steaming makes the carbohydrates digestible and improves the stability of the pellets. Dry the steamed pellets in an oven at 60 degrees centigrade. The pellet must be properly dried to about 90% dryness. If not, molds will grow, and when the pellets are fed to the prawns, this would cause mass mortality. Place the pellets in clean, closed containers and store in a dry, cool room. The storeroom must be protected from sun, rain, rodents, and insects. The water stability of the pellet can be determined by soaking it in water. Observe the time the pellet begins to disintegrate. The longer the pellet stays intact in water, the more water stable it is. Prawn feed pellets should have a stability of at least 2 hours in water. To be a good feed, the pellets must be stable, attractive, and acceptable to the prawns. Prepared properly, pelletized diets will result in rapid growth and high survival rates of cultured prawns.